Good morning, my T-Bone Inc. followers. This is Shatisha Bonon with T-Bone Inc. Crafters Incorporated. For those who don't know me, I am a crafting artist specializing in all things handmade. I know it's been a while, but things have been a little crazy these last few weeks and everything, but I am back with another creations and conversation. Today, I'm going to be working on a corner to corner blanket that's going to be pink and white with the breast cancer awareness pink ribbon in the middle. And I'm going to be talking about 10 ways to conquer your fear. Okay, so let's get into it. So, fear is one of the oldest companions of humanity. It meets us in the dark corners of our thoughts, whispers in our doubts, and stands in the doorway of every dream. Fear can paralyze, convincing us to stay in comfort even when comfort is killing us. It can shrink us, trapping us in routines, relationships, or situations far smaller than the life we were created for. But fear is also a teacher. It reveals what matters most to us. It shows us where our deepest growth lies. To conquer fear is not to eliminate it, because fear will always appear when we are on the edge of a change. But to refuse to let it control the outcome. Conquering fear is learning to move through it, to speak to it, and to rise above it. This is not about becoming fearless, but about becoming courageous. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to keep walking despite its presence. These 10 truths will guide you in facing fear head on, transforming it from an enemy into a doorway to freedom. Number 1, name your fear. Fear thrives in the shadows. When you avoid naming it, it grows larger in silence. The first step to conquering fear is honesty. Speak its name. Say, I am afraid of failure or of rejection, of being alone, of not being enough. Naming fear robs it of mystery. It takes the vague weight pressing on your chest and turns it into something you can face. You cannot conquer what you refuse to acknowledge. Naming your fear is the first act of reclaiming power over it. Number 2, understand fear's source. Every fear has a root. Sometimes it comes from past wounds, sometimes from imagined scenarios, sometimes from lessons passed down by others who lived in fear themselves. When you trace fear back to its source, you begin to see that it is not always truth. It is memory, projection, or conditioning. Understanding fear's source doesn't mean excusing it, but it allows you to separate what is real from what is illusion. Once you know where fear comes from, you can begin to loosen its grip on your life. Number 3, replace fear with truth. Fear is often built on lies. I can't, I'll fail, I'm not good enough. These words repeat until they feel like reality. The way to break fear is with truth. Replace I can't with I am learning. Replace I'll fail with I will grow. Replace I'm not enough with I'm becoming more each day. Truth is stronger than fear, but you must choose to speak it until your spirit believes it. Words are weapons, and the right words can silence fear's lies. Number 4, take fear with you. Waiting until you no longer feel afraid is a trap. If you delay action until fear vanishes, you will wait forever. Courage is not about erasing fear. It's about moving with it. Bring fear along, but refuse to let it take the wheel. Say, I see you, but you don't decide for me. Each step you take while afraid proves that fear is not stronger than your will. The more you act, the smaller fear becomes. Number 5, break fear into small steps. Fear magnifies when you look at the whole mountain. The vision feels too large, the outcome too uncertain. But if you break the dream into small steps, fear begins to lose its voice. One conversation, one decision, one action. Small steps turn fear into manageable challenges. Each step completed is evidence. I can do this. Over time, the steps add up, and what once seemed impossible becomes the road you've already walked. Number 6, see failure as a teacher. Fear feeds on the idea that failure is the end. But failure is not final. It is instruction. Every stumble, every mistake, every setback carries lessons you could not learn otherwise. When you see failure as a teacher, fear loses its weapon. Suddenly, falling down is not shame, it's education. Each failure is a step toward wisdom, toward refinement, toward growth. To conquer fear, you must reframe failure as progress in disguise. Number 7, visualize victory. Fear loves to play movies of disaster in your mind. What if it goes wrong? What if you embarrass yourself? What if it falls apart? To fight back, create a new vision. Close your eyes and imagine success. Imagine yourself speaking boldly, finishing the project, walking in freedom. Visualization prepares your mind for possibility instead of disaster. When you focus on freedom, what you focus on expands. If you feed fear's images, it will grow. If you feed victory's vision, it will rise within you until fear no longer dominates your thoughts. Number 8, surround yourself with courage. Fear grows in isolation. Alone, you believe its lies. But when you surround yourself with people of courage, their example strengthens you. Their words remind you of what is possible, and their fear and their presence pushes you beyond your hesitation. Community lifts you when fear presses down. Courage is contagious. The more you stay close to those who face their fear, the more your own boldness begins to awaken. Number 9, take risk on purpose. The more you avoid fear, the stronger it becomes. But when you intentionally step into situations that stretch you, you prove to yourself that fear can be faced. Small risks build confidence, and confidence builds resilience. Risk is not reckless. It is intentional discomfort that leads to growth. Each risk is a declaration. Fear will not define me. The more you practice risk, the more natural courage becomes. Number 10, trust that you are not alone. At the heart of fear is the lie of abandonment. The belief that you will face the challenge with no help, no strength, and no covering. But you are not alone. Yahweh walks with you, and others are ready to stand beside you. To conquer fear, remember that courage is not carried in isolation. Lean into your faith. Lean into your circle. When fear whispers that you are on your own, respond with the truth. I am never alone. The truth is enough to silence fear's hold. Fear will always knock at the door, but it doesn't have to be invited in. It doesn't have to sit at the table or decide the direction of your life. Every time you face fear and move away, you expand your world. You discover your strength, more possibility, more freedom than you thought you had. Conquering fear is not about removing its voice. It's about refusing to obey it. Fear says, stop, but you move. Fear says, hide, but you rise. Fear says, you can't, but you speak, I will. On the other side of fear is growth. On the other side of fear is purpose. On the other side of fear is the life you were meant to live. So when fear appears, do not shrink. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and step forward. The courage you need is already within you, waiting for the chance to be proven.